This lighting challenge is called Minecraft's Picnic. I like to call it When Pigs Fly. And congratulations to Andre, who is the winner of this challenge. And today I just wanted to go over briefly why we chose this, and then also how we can make it even better to show how we take an image and when given feedback, you can even up level that image even more. So the reason why we chose this as the winner is one, the composition. I really like the thoughtful composition where this frames nicely. The two characters frame nicely. You know, I also like the kind of lower angle. It feels more intimate, like I'm there with them in the setting instead of just like someone looking, you know, through a lens from afar. Although at this vantage point, I'm probably like an ant or something looking up, but I am part of the scene. I feel like it's there. You know, I also really admire the lighting choices. Of course, yes, this is a lighting challenge, so the main focus is the lighting, but I like the idea of this dramatic backlit sun going down, having tea time setting, so you get those nice contrasts. Especially I like how he was able to have these really go into darkness. So overall, I think it's wonderful. Those are the reasons why this is the lighting challenge winner. Now, let's go into the how. How can we make this even better? So one of the things that I was noticing is, where does my eye go, right? So my eye goes, honestly, well, it goes into the sun here, but then it's also going to these characters, which is correct. But then part of me wants my eye to see what they're doing, and this is feeling really dark. What if I just emphasize that tea pot and the cup a little bit more by adding more fill light there, right? So now you can see it kind of pops out. I'm feeling it more. It seems more in line with the character values as well. So that is one thing that I'll say is really helpful in kind of bringing it to the next level. Another thing is, the tricky thing about values, right, is while this is a backlit and very contrasty, you don't want to lose all value in your shadows as well. So I'll bring this a little bit down, but and this is just a crude kind of, you know, paint over, but I'm adding a little more information in that shadow area. So that is going there, and I'll add this on top as well. And then the other thing I'll say is, you know, this is a very bright sun back here. I'd love to emphasize the rim a little bit more on these characters to like really focus in, hone in on that dramatic backlit light. So again, a crude version of it, but you can start getting the idea of how adding these elements will even bring the image even further. And then if I go ahead and take this image even more, so I'm a anyone that knows me or has worked with me, I love my glows and the diffusion and adding like that diffusion. So I see this bright, you know, bright sun source here, and I want to diffuse it. I want to add that softness to it. So that is a little bit of a diffuse that you can do in post, but do you see how it adds that softness to it? Like you're looking into this magical sun. And additionally, as I'm looking at this foreground, and it'd be great to frame this a little bit better and darken that foreground. And let me minimize this just slightly so you see it better. But you see how just adding a little bit of a grade and darkening that extreme foreground helps bring in the eye even more to where we want to see the story. So that's an example of how we can up level this visual even more. So this is where it started, and this is with a few kind of notes, and this is all paint over. So of course, if done when done in 3D, the actual render can be much more cleaner and, you know, really show it. But those are the base things to get across. And this is a great example of how you can take any image, like this is, I think, is an amazing image. It was the winner, but you can take it even further and add that extra, you know, 10%, 20%, even 1%, right? And it's hard to do on your own, but with like someone else's eye that comes in on it and gives you feedback, that is exactly how our students are able to go from here to here, because you don't know what you don't know, right? And everyone has a different eye, and it's always great to get different perspectives. So if you're working at home and you're working on your own work, show it to someone, you know, before calling it done. It doesn't have to be a professional in the industry. It could be your friend, right? Be like, what do you think of this? And then see what their feedback is. Ask them like, where's your eye drawn? What's the story? And depending on their answer, you might be able to be like, oh, interesting. Maybe I should emphasize this more, you know, in the center because it's not clear. Maybe, you know, the mood isn't as dreamlike as I'd want. Let me add some diffuse and whatnot. So definitely, you know, do your work, but always get another point of view, feedback, just or even just step away. Another trick is you can like turn it upside down and or look at it from a different angle, and then that also gives you a nice perspective. So again, congratulations, Andre. This is the beginning, and this is with some notes to up level it even more if you like. With that, happy lighting, everyone.